start my wife lessons or wife code series, right? This is the series in which I give a premise about what makes a good wife, what makes a good companion, and I wanted to make sure that we expressed all of those things, seeing as how I have that kind of value to give, to bring to the situation. I wanted to start this whole wife code thing. It's called Wife Code, and this is our initial episode number 1, in which I state women or wives have to self-regulate. They have to learn how to do that. I mean, it's a lonely job, but it's very rewarding when you're doing or wanting to be a wife. You have to learn to self-regulate your emotions. It's an essential skill for you as a wife because it helps maintain, uh, healthy relationships, boundaries, and your personal well-being. So it's very important for a wife to self-regulate. So I'm gonna give you some reasons why she needs to learn how to do that if you want to be a good wife, if you want to be a good companion. You have to learn to self-regulate because usually there's no one there to do that. You're on an island by yourself. You know that when you have children and you're just the only person in the house, you know you have to learn to self-regulate. So this is the first thing. This is the first reason why you have to learn to self-regulate. You have to be able to have effective communication. It starts with that. When your emotions are regulated, it becomes easier to communicate calmly and clearly, and men don't like erratic women. Even during a disagreement with your husband, this helps resolve conflicts instead of escalating those. And we as women have a bad habit of leading with our emotions. So you have to be calm, clear, concise in this relationship. You're the one that's going to have to make sure the disagreement doesn't go further, thereby escalating his emotions. It helps to resolve conflict. So please learn to regulate, self-regulate if you want to be a wife. Learn to do it early, even before you get married. Number 2, as a wife, you are the person that sets the tone in the relationship. You have to set a positive tone in your relationship, in your marriage. Okay? It can set example for how you want relationships to go in family, how you want the relationship to go between a man and his child. Encouraging, you have to encourage your husband and yourself to handle emotions maturely and respectfully. Respectfully. That's the key word there, respectfully. You see my tone? This is the tone you need to take in most relationships. You're the arbiter. You're the person that smooths the road in the relationships. He said, I must be a magician. I love it. You're the person that has, number 3, you're the person that has to reduce misunderstandings, reduce conflict. You're the wife. That's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. Overreacting, expressing emotions impulsively, wildly, recklessly can lead to misunderstandings and divorce. This is what brings a man into hyper focus in a relationship when he doesn't need to be. His job is to protect and provide. Your job is to make that road smooth. And if you're always subject to flights of fancy and arguing and not self-regulating yourself, this relationship is going to go down the tubes if you can't control yourself as a wife, as a woman. Afternoon, guys. Managing emotions allows for better expression, feelings, needs, wants, desires. This also, when you can self-regulate, it strengthens your emotional intimacy in that relationship. If you're wild and erratic all the time, I don't want to get near you. As a man, I wouldn't want to get near you if you don't know how to self-regulate yourself. A person who regulates their emotions can create a safe space, a supportive space, an emotional connection between her and her husband and her children. Have you ever watched a relationship where the mother is so erratic that nobody knows how they feel until she walks in the door? This is what I mean by creating a safe space. Women are the ones who have to create that safe space. Number 5. She protects her personal well-being as an adult. Unregulated, emotional, erratic behavior, such as getting mad, anger, cussing. Everybody gets cussed out. Unchecked anger, depression, sadness, it takes a toll on the family. Excuse me. It takes a toll on the mental health and physical health of everybody around her. You have to maintain the balance and reduce stress in this relationship. And people say, oh no, she got to do everything. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, as a woman, as a wife, as a mother, you're the one that's going to have to keep the peace most of the time in that relationship. And that means somebody has to be grounded. And that is a woman's job. You're going to have to be the one that is grounded. You encourage innovation in that man. You encourage promotion in that man. You already know, as a woman, you're going to do what needs to be done. You're going to do what needs to be said. You're going to do what needs to be made, thought out. But your job is to encourage. Your job is to promote. Okay? You focus on solutions in your relationship. Don't bring problems. Don't bring emotions. Don't bring unchecked anger. Don't bring these things. We're alone as women most of the time. We're always having thought processes most of the time. We're almost always thinking how we can do better. So I'm saying, get your emotions under control and don't spill that out. People say, well, I didn't get married to not get support. I'm not saying not have support. What I am saying is, you're a woman. We already got to deal with a whole bunch of other stuff on our end. There's no reason to bring that into the marriage, because we already got to control ourselves. We can control ourselves. You don't have to be a hyena all the time. You bring that drama and stress onto children, onto the man, when he already has enough stress in this world. Regulate yourself. You nurture the relationship. You're the one. Emotional strains and outbursts. Emotional strains and outbursts strain the fabric of your relationship in your marriage. If you learn to manage your emotions, you can contribute more peace and more harmony than anything else in relationships, than anything else. But you're going to have to be the one to do this, because you know men are not the emotional ones. If you come to him with logic and you speak clearly, concisely, you self-regulate. I'm talking about self-regulation, okay? Some of those things that you can do. Let me see. She said, how do I start controlling my emotions? Figure out what your triggers are. What triggers do you have? What triggers you? Pay attention to situations and people and things and behaviors that consistently provoke anger or sadness, depression in you. Okay. And then you identify it and deal with it. Practice it. Practice controlling that trigger. Practice controlling what brings about that particular emotion in you. Excuse me, I'm still sick. Before you go off, learn to pause. Stop yourself. Stop yourself before you get out of pocket. Take a deep breath. Think about what you're going to say. And then say it in a clear and concise manner. Say the emotion in your mind. Then say it back to yourself. Does this sound right? Does this sound correct? Should I say this? Sometimes you got to count to 10. I'm the type of person, I count to 10. I stop myself. I learned to do that because my husband wasn't one of those people that dealt with you screaming and he's a reactor. He was one of those reactors. But by me learning to self-regulate, me controlling myself, he learned to control himself. And that's the thing. Being closed off is different from taking a deep breath and expressing yourself. Closing off means I'm not engaging. You cannot be a person who doesn't engage when you're in a marriage. You have to express yourself in a positive way. You have to express yourself in a less hostile way. Okay? Maybe that's better. Listen. Sometimes listening goes such a long way. When he says, stop closing off, or stop shutting down, you say, I'm actively listening to you. I'm not shutting down. I'm actively listening to you. I want to make sure I heard what you said. Repeat what they have said. Actively listen to the words they are saying. This can prevent miscommunication and diffuse tension, I guess. So I'm saying you want to regulate yourself. This sometimes helps other people regulate themselves. When they see you get control of yourself, this helps them to get control of themselves. And I'm saying as a wife, as a mother, you know when you're erratic, you don't want to be bothered with nothing. So it's just like a child who is upset and you pat their back, you have to learn to pat your own back. Because you know, as a woman, the man is not necessarily always there to do it. So you have to learn how to do it. You have to learn to bring calm and you have to learn how to bring calm and emotions under control in the marriage. Every time, see, somebody said to me the other day, I didn't know how I felt until he walked in the door. I don't know how I feel until he walks in the door, which tells me he brings drama and chaos into the house. And so therefore, she didn't know how to act. That's the job of a wife or woman, is to regulate the temperature in that household. You regulate it so that it's calm and it's peace for that man and them children. You don't bring drama. We saw the other day some lady, she that was erratic, screaming at the kids, screaming at him, don't know how to talk, don't know how to regulate yourself, don't know how to deal with her own emotions. This is part of our problem. People not knowing how to deal with their emotions. And it's all becomes a matter of doing scenarios inside of your head. If this happens, what do I do? If this happens, if this is said, what do I do? If I run across this situation, what do I do? Familiarity breeds contempt. But I'm saying familiarity is also soothing to humans. When I know this is how I feel, I don't need to snap. I don't need to go off. I don't need to cuss everybody out because I don't get my way. Or I don't need to cuss another person out because that's just how I've been reacting. You have to ask yourself, has this been productive in your relationships? Has it been productive? I just want to know. These things have to be productive in order for the marriage to work. You have to actively listen. Another thing you can do, I just said that, build inner dialogue that's supportive to yourself. Yes, my emotions are valid, but not every emotion needs to be expressed. Because if I express all of my emotions as a wife, I'm going to bring conflict to him, and I may bring conflict to the children. And when I mean conflict, I mean tension, anxiety. It's like an upheaval. It's like upheaval in the family when the woman doesn't know how to self-regulate herself. Calm yourself the hell down, okay? Your emotions are valid. You know they're valid. But you need to be able to express those in a well thought out and timed manner, especially when you have a spouse, right? So I'm saying, challenge negative thoughts about yourself too. Replace those thoughts, replace never with maybe, with balanced ones, with better ones. The inner dialogue, how well you respond to situations is how well you have talked and regulated yourself inside. If you're able to handle things and things don't hit you like an atomic bomb because you've talked to yourself, regulated yourself, had inner dialogue with yourself, the ups and downs of marriage won't leave you reeling. Okay? So having supportive language to yourself, communicating clearly, concisely, learn to do things that are less stressful. Learn to walking, yoga, go to the movies and relax. Have inner dialogue in the bathroom. Talk to yourself in the bathroom. When you're in the bathroom doing your routine, wake up earlier in the day than you have to. Maybe a half an hour earlier where you just sit and think about what do I want to do today? How do I want to present myself today? How do I want my marriage to go today? How do I want my husband to walk out the door today? Do I want him to walk out mean and ragged and upset, or do I want him to walk off with a light dance in his step? Because I have regulated myself. So therefore, I have learned to help him regulate himself. Okay? You have to create you have to create a safe space. That's a part of that marriage. That's a big part of marriage, is learning to put a safe space together for you and him and the children. Because when people don't feel safe, they don't feel safe enough to express themselves. They don't feel safe enough to do things, tell you things, show you things. And we both have to be calm in this marriage. And you're the temperature. You're the person that regulates this relationship. I don't care what nobody tell you of being married. As long as I was married, I was the one to bring the water to dampen the heat. I was the fire extinguisher. I had to be, because my husband worked in he worked in a job where his emotion, his violence was always at the surface of him. So when he came home, I knew I couldn't be rah 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 rah. I had to self-regulate. I had to learn to reel in. Okay. I had to reel in myself. And I couldn't put that on him because I knew what pressure he already had. So therefore I had to learn how to do my own self, my own regulation, right? Create a safe space for this person, your children, the man. And I'm not saying you don't ask for help. Ask for help when you need it. But you ask for help in a way that expresses clearly that you need help, that you need to regulate. Can I please have, like 10 minutes so I can rejuvenate, hon? Can you please do that? Can you blah, blah, blah? Can I have this? Just give me 5 minutes. Just give me 10 minutes. Or better still, when you need that rejuvenation, wake up earlier, or stay, or go to, when everybody's asleep, just sit down on the couch and contemplate how the day went, or learn to open a journal and journal some of these emotions. Journal what you're thinking, what you're feeling. But I'm not saying you can't express yourself. The whole point is you have girlfriends too. You have girlfriends, you have friends. And learn to express yourself, with a girl who gives you sympathy and empathy. But always keep that marriage and that relationship as a priority, right? Seek support when you need it. A therapist can help you. Journaling can help you. Sitting outside on the back porch early in the morning when you're safe. Do all of these things. Practice being mindful. Practice being mindful. Practice on being grateful. Practice on understanding the blessings that you have when you have a husband who's doing the things he's supposed to be doing. I'm not saying give a man kudos for being mediocre. What I am saying is give him praise for the things he is doing more than the things that he's not doing. Because none of us are always doing everything that we're supposed to. Some of us can do things for other people and not worry about. Stop worrying about getting a badge of honor. Stop worrying about getting Kudos. Learn to give that, what is it? Learn to give that serenity. There you go. Learn to give serenity to a man. Practicing gratitude is one of the number one reasons why men say, I'm doing all this and she ain't giving me nothing. Being grateful keeps you grounded, keeps you humble, less reactive, erratic. Certain schedules change. Don't jump out there calling somebody a name. He's late. Where the hell you been? Nobody wants to hear that. And then the children react, and you know what I'm talking about. Children react to mom being scared, to mom being angry, to mom being erratic. Your job is to set the temperature. Everybody stumbles, honey. Everybody stumbles. But I'm saying get back up and hold the ship. Steady the ship. You're the person that steadies the ship. The man is the one who brings the gas, the oil, the navigation. You're the one that steadies that. You're the one that makes sure that boat doesn't rock, because we're supposed to get to land. He's given us all of the, he is supposed to give us all of the things to get to land. You're the person that navigates how we get there. Do we go through choppy waters, or do we go through plain, calm navigation to where we got to go? No woman should walk into a relationship thinking she gonna rah, rah, rah. Don't have gratitude. Be grateful. You could be doing this on your own. A woman can be doing this on her own, but you don't want to do it on your own. I'm telling you, as a wife, as a person who wants to be a wife, be grateful for the small things that come across your way. I'm not saying sit there and praise the man. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you regulating your emotions, you not bringing drama, is half the damn battle. You not bringing stress to his plate, you not bringing stress to him, is your contribution to that marriage. Regulate yourself. Regulate yourself first. Then you will know how to regulate the relationship, the marriage, his emotions. Because when he walks in the door and you rah, 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 that's going to make him even more hyper-focused on he don't know what to do. Same thing with him. When he comes in and he's rah, 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 you don't know what to do. You don't know how you feel till he walk in the door. Remember, I told you all the story where my husband worked in that profession, prison profession, and he would come home and he would be like, "Arrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr those things. Okay. I'm saying somehow I taught him, somehow I trained him that I couldn't do the erratic thing. You can't do the erratic thing and express and expect a relationship to work. And I realized that as I stood in that marriage, stayed in the marriage, learned to communicate. I wasn't a communicator. I was a person that shut down. I was a person that regulated my emotions so much that I didn't express them at all. That I ran. I ran like a coward. I ran, and I realized I couldn't run. He realized that he was driving me away. So therefore, he had to learn to regulate. He had to learn to self-regulate before he walked into the door, because he knew I was going to run. Do you want your stress? The reason why women run too, okay? Men run to other women. Men run to drinking. Men run to partying. Men run just like women run. When I can't deal with what's at home, I run. And I used to do that, and I had to learn to not do that. So I'm saying learn to self-regulate right now before you get into a relationship. When you're in a relationship, immediately learn it. That's a part of emotional maturity. This is what we have to do. As women, as wives, we are the temperature in that house. And you have to learn how to, and this is probably the final point. Yes, running can be detrimental, but my husband stopped me. Thank goodness he stopped me and said, you're not running anymore. We're going to deal with what we have to deal with. That was a part of our marriage. And God damn it, it lasted 30-odd years because he stopped me. Because I was running, I'd run straight to damn Barnes & Noble. Y'all know Barnes & Noble bookstore? I'd run straight there and sit down on the couch, and I'd sit there for hours and read and regulate myself. And when he figured out that I was running from him, he stopped me. Where are you going, Rennie? He would say, where are you going, Rennie? Stop it. And I said, because every time you talk to me, you hurt me. I finally learned to say that. So I'm saying before that happens, learn to self-regulate. And this is the last point. Celebrate being grateful that you have a husband and you have a family and you're able to make it work, communicate, all of that, right? Acknowledge the things that you are getting out of this marriage. A lot of people don't acknowledge the goodness that they are getting out of being in a cohesive or being in a relationship with another human being. Do you know how difficult it is to deal with another human being on a daily basis? Because they have emotions that they have to regulate. They have emotions that they have to fine tune. They have thoughts, feelings, wants, desires, just like you. But you, as the wife, have to celebrate these small wins, because men are not going to look at this stuff like you do. We women look at the color that is around us. You have to learn how to regulate tense emotions and things that happen in this family. Positive reinforcement to him, to yourself, helps build the confidence that this marriage and this relationship can last. It gives your ability to handle ups and downs, a bigger canvas to navigate. If you only respond with rah, 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 and that's all you do, that's all you're ever going to do if you don't self-regulate. And as women, we gotta learn how to do that. We gotta learn not to scream, to holler, to bark, to do all that. I keep saying I'm I keep saying I'm half hyena. Yes, I am. I'm a single person, and therefore I'm half that way. But I know how to snap to attention when I have a man in my life. I know how to regulate myself when I have a man in my life. Women have to regulate themselves when they have another person that they have to take care of. Even if you don't have a man, you have children, so you need to learn how to self-regulate. In a marriage, it's extremely important, because we are the people that navigate. We navigate relationships. Don't talk about, yes, that's another thing. Don't, if you're going to stay with that man or that woman, stop telling people your business. I get it if you have a really close girlfriend and you just want to talk to one, you just want to have a bounce sounding board, but there's a sounding board and then there's feedback that's negative. I just want to vent. I just want to tell you, I don't want you to talk about it. I don't want you to give me no advice. You single, you're a single woman. I don't want to hear no advice from no single woman. I just want to tell you what I feel. Because we need that. We women need that. Men, we need that. We need a female voice that will listen to us and validate some of the things that we have going, not negatively come back. Mirror, we need somebody to mirror. Did you hear me? I don't want to have an opinion. I just want to tell you. So learn to self-regulate, women, wives. Y'all hit the like button. I didn't say that when I walked in the door, but I'd appreciate everyone hitting the like button, you know, and sharing this kind of thing, because wife lessons are important. I will be bringing you a wife lesson maybe once or twice a week, but this is one of the most important life lessons that a wife needs to understand. A wife needs to understand. So does the husband. Don't get me wrong, but it's more vitally important that this woman, this wife, future wife, does this. Because regulation, it colors everything. You screeching, it's an essential skill for every person. Don't get me wrong. But you're the person that is tasked with pulling healthy emotions out of everyone around you. You're the one. It is what it is in history. It is what it is today. You're the one that's being tasked to bring about healthy relationships. You're the person that feeds the family. You, as the wife, feed the family. Good emotions, good regulation, good thoughts, healthy relationships come out of this. This is a part of that emotional maturity I was talking about. So this is the life lesson number 1. Please stay tuned, because I will be specifically drilling down on lessons that wives and women who want to be wives can do, can express. Okay? And I thank you all for listening. Thank you, guys. Love you.